I'd like to call this meeting of the Monticello City Council to order. Please rise and join with me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Attendance roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrick?
Here.
Ms. Sieben? Here. Ms. Harlan? Here. Mr. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Vogt? Mr. Brock?
Here.
Mr. Burris?
Here.
Mr. Kuhn?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Public participation. Please note this meeting is being held in person at the Livingston Center, 224 East Livingston, and will also have remote participation available. If attending in person, a face covering is required. No one has signed up to participate this evening. If you want to participate remotely, this is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. The public comments must comply with Ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. At this time, members of the public are able to attend public meetings by web conference, to submit public comment by email, voicemail, or through web conference. Has anyone?
Mr. Schreiber would like to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Schreffler. Mr. Schreffler?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to comment again on the claims. I see there's another $3,843 expenditure due to the Tract 8 project, and I was just hoping you might address that fact and let people know how much more we're going to be paying out, whether or not there's any interest in going to collect that overage. I think there was like 81,000 or something we were to be reimbursed, and then it's gone way over that now, and it doesn't seem like there's any end in sight. Every time you look at the claims, there's another charge for that, and I didn't know that's. I guess it's a parent company of Biovin that we're involved with on that, and they were going to reimburse us. So I'd like to know, or hope that you would let us know if there's any intent to go ahead and look for some reimbursement from them on that additional. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Approval of documents and action items is listed. Claims report. Claims dated November 24, 2020 through December 14, 2020. Meeting minutes. City Council meeting minutes, November 23rd, 2020. Budget report, October 2020. Treasurer's report, October 2020. Permit report, November 2020. Police report, November 2020. And fire report, November 2020. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sieben?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. I have to look at my notes here. Okay. Time for the mayor's report. There are 38 businesses in Monticello, Cisco, and Bement that are actively hiring over 100 full and part-time positions of all levels, trades, and experience. View the local job board on the city's website for a listing, or visit the Piatt County Workforce Development Office for workforce assistance. Visit the 5th annual Winter Wellness Walk at Allerton Park. Walk through several illuminated formal gardens into the meadow and past the mansion on this 1-mile walk. Open daily from 5 to 9 p.m. through Sunday, December the 31st. Also, the Macintosh Light Show is up and running daily from 4:30 p.m. through 10 o'clock p.m. Through January 4th at Rotary Park in downtown. As we enter into this holiday season, I encourage everyone to support our local businesses. That is some of my report. Okay, moving on to new business mayoral proclamation. Mayoral proclamation, January 30th, 2021, as Mud Puppy Day. Whereas the Sangamon River is on the Illinois Natural Areas Inventory, honored for its rich variety of aquatic resources, and whereas the mud puppy, a state threatened species, is found in the waters of the Sangamon River near Monticello, and whereas the presence of the mud puppy is a sign of a healthy river, and whereas the mud puppy is active in the winter and is unique in its aquatic lifestyle and colorful external gills, and whereas the Land Conservation Foundation and the City of Monticello share an interest in the health of the mud puppy and the Sangamon River, and whereas the Land Conservation Foundation's annual Mud Puppy Festival invites the community to celebrate this remarkable creature and the waters where it lives, now therefore I, Larry Stoner, Mayor of the City of Monticello, do proclaim Saturday, January 30th, 2021 as Mud Puppy Day in the City of Monticello, and urge all citizens to understand, enjoy, and protect the unique natural resources in and along the Sangamon River in Piatt County. Is there a motion to approve this proclamation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? I learned a lot about this going to the activities that they've had here in the past. Unfortunately, this year, as with everything else, that's going to happen. Jill, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I have an appointment to make. The Monticello Fire and Rescue volunteer firefighter, Caleb Skinner, was recommended by the chief. I would entertain a motion to approve this appointment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Caleb, are you here? Could you stand, please, so everybody can see you? It's a crowded room, you know. So. And, can I have a roll call, please, Jill?
Yes. Mr. Ferris?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Welcome aboard and congratulations. Cancellation of December 28, 2020 City Council meeting. This is a motion only. Is there a motion to not have the meeting on December 28th?
Move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Do we need to vote on the next two to make sure we don't have any?
We'll get to that bridge when you get there, okay?
Okay,
Okay. I think we can address that issue
Okay.
when it comes up.
I just didn't know if it was an order where we needed to make sure that.
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Jill?
Mr. Ferris?
No.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn? And passes.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2020-55, an ordinance levying taxes for all corporate purposes for the city of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois, for the fiscal year commencing on January 1st, 2021 and ending on December 31st, 2021. This is the second reading, so we can have action this evening. Are there any comments or questions? We talked about this at the last meeting. Any comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, I'll ask for a roll call.
Motion.
The motion?
Didn't I get one?
Mhm.
Oh, maybe I should. Who wants to move it?
So.
Thank you, Tom. Who wants to second it?
Second.
See, I'm trying to move quickly this evening. That's not. Any comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none. Now can I have a roll call?
Yes. Mr. Ferris?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to resolution 2020-58, a resolution to accept an agreement to perform the annual City of Monticello audit. Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City of Monticello is required to annually appoint an auditor to conduct a thorough examination of the financial accounts of the city. The city has utilized services of May, Cocaine, and King PC of Decatur, Illinois for a number of years now. City administration had recently requested the firm provide an agreement for audit services for the year ending December 31, 2020. Their quote is under what we have budgeted for that. Is recommended City Council approve Resolution 2020-58 as presented.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2020-58?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, I need a roll call. Jill?
Mr. Fricks?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Harlan?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Brock?
Yes.
Mr. Burris?
Yes.
Mr. Kim?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Alderman's reports. John?
Go to the Kirby light show. Allerton, we were there
Awesome, isn't it?
last night. It was actually pretty good weather. They actually have some fire pits out by the meadow, the pavilion thing out there, and selling some hot chocolate. So it was really nice. Take a look.
Good, thank you. Tammy?
Nothing. I would agree with John. We've been fortunate. The weather's been nice and so forth. So and they've done some expansion of it. So it's really nice this year.
Great.
It always is, but it's very nice.
Pam?
Nothing for me.
Thomas?
Nothing here.
Michael?
A couple things. One, wanted to commend the city for the sidewalk jacking that they did on Charter Street. It may have done elsewhere, but I've heard from residents that it's a big improvement and we didn't have to spend money to resurface that. And so I heard some comments and wanted to pass that along. Secondly, there's a couple reports, we obviously, today was the day that they rolled out the first vaccine for the COVID-19. And I bring that up because I had seen a report from Dr. Fauci about wondering when stadiums will be filled again. And he thought by the fall that it's potential that stadiums could be filled again. And not that really matters here, but we are at some point, we can kind of see the light potentially to getting back to somewhat normal. And as it relates to that, there was another report that talked about how things will change the way, there will be a lot more people that will work remotely, and that those folks, it's predicted that they'll choose to live in small towns. To do that, they can work wherever they want, and they're choosing to live in small towns. And so I want to really encourage the city as we get into 2021, in light of the fact that the pandemic, eventually we can kind of see that there's hope. And we really look at figuring out a way to market ourselves to folks that will choose, that they can live anywhere, that more and more people work remotely, and I think Monticello would be an ideal place. And so I think if more ways that we can figure out how to attract those folks, I think to be out ahead of that, I think would be great. It's one of the reasons that I continue to want to try to move on the rec site, among other things. And I think people living downtown is kind of a latest trend. We had potential project for that we heard this past year. So I just want to encourage the city to think about ways that they can market to those that want to work remotely and want to choose to live in a small town. We hope that they choose Monticello.
Thank you. Rodney?
Nothing for me today.
Thank you. Wendell?
Only to wish all my fellow councilmen and women a happy holiday season. I hope everyone stays well and be kind to your neighbors and do the best you can. I'm kind of going to ask the chief on the slide here. I guess I didn't propose this earlier, but consider a few-day moratorium on parking enforcement, if you would, to try and encourage people to stay downtown a little bit longer. I think we could give up a couple of days prior to Christmas to try and encourage people to look at what we have to offer downtown.
Excellent.
That's all I have.
Excellent suggestion. You check that out.
And for us, we have our annual shop with the cop Saturday. In total, there's about 55 kids that we were able to help this year. Of course, we had to do it different. We couldn't take the kids, so we delivered from, we set up our trailer out at Froyo Factory, had some lights on. If you notice, they were red and blue, so we called them the Reds and Blues of Christmas. And we'd come back, pick up the gifts, and then take them out and deliver to the different kids throughout the community. While we were there, this is not something we had planned, but several people came through and donated, and we raised almost $1,000 just on donations. Sitting there for that hour and a half, 2 hours. So that was great. That's all I have on that. And then I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, John. Same to you. John Rupke.
Hey, okay. March was kind of a slow month for us. We canceled all our training meetings because of the COVID considerations. We did have an officers meeting the third week, and that lasted about 3 hours. But we did go through a lot of stuff and got a lot of stuff done. But that was all remotely. We did that over a conference call. So, we're still making things happen. Today we introduced Caleb as our 17th firefighter that we have on the fire department. We did a fire drill at Monticello Middle School in October. I think we've gotten all the schools done for this fall. I think they need to have one more in the spring. So we got the schools done. We ran 38 calls this year. We're up to 388 calls. And so we should be pretty close to over 400 calls by the time the year is out. And like Chief Carter over there, I just want to say thank you. This has been my first year as fire chief, and I want to thank first the mayor and Terry for, I guess, picking me. And I spent a lot of time with Terry over the last several months with the budget and just going over things for the fire department. I want to thank you for all your help, and especially Jill, Maura, Callie, Lacey, everybody at the city building has been very helpful. I do appreciate all the help from them. Chief Carter, our department's working together. It's been really awesome. And I want to thank again, like Wendell, the city council, for all your support for the fire department, because we want to make things happen. So we're really going to need your help, and hope everybody has a great holiday.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the direction that the fire department's moving right. I'm really impressed with obviously everyone's a little bit more fired up, and I appreciate that fact.
I got to compliment our officers, like Michael here as our lieutenant, and all our firefighters. They've really stepped up. And
I appreciate
especially with the officers, like I said, all of them, but the officers have really stepped up and gotten things done. So
Thank you. I
really
appreciate everyone's efforts. It's been great. City Administrator, Terry Summers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And to Chief Rupke's, we just got a grant money today. So
I knew that.
Apex Energy bought the fire department an AED unit.
Great.
So a lot of effort from the fire department in Cali, Joe McCartan. So that's good. Great news.
$3,000 that we don't have to budget for.
Yep. And a lot more, I think, grants have been submitted and will be submitted. So good things. All I have, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Stay safe and be well for holiday season. Thanks for all your efforts in 2020.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate all of your efforts in 2020. At this time, we need to go into closed session. Real estate purchase or lease, 5 Illinois CS 120/2C5. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. We'll be going into closed session. When we come out, we will not be taking any action. So we're done for the evening, basically. It's adjourned. Need longer arms. Are we on?
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything that we've missed that we should talk about? Hearing none or seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi, Jill.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
See you, buddy.
Nightmare.